Yeah, I mean, we're right in February, and I think the exciting thing is we're playing meaningful basketball right now. Like, the games are important, and that's what you want. I mean, you don't want this time of year to be looking for next year or trying to get moral victories. We're in the challenging league, and the most challenging league possible, really ever, and that's something that's great reward in trying to find wins and trying to find ways to get wins, and that's what stage we are right now, where we lost back-to-back games against good teams. There's good teams in front of us, good opportunities in front of us, and we got to try to figure out how to get one.
Is there a sense of relief, comfort factor, being able to get back home after a couple of road games?
I think it's always a sense of relief to get back home. Memorial's been a great home court advantage, a home court environment. We need to stay that way. And we play good basketball in this building, and sometimes you go on the road, get beat up a little bit. Just coming back home where things are comfortable is a little better.
You mentioned meaningful basketball during this time. Do you pay attention to where you are in the landscape of the tournament and stuff like that? It's kind of hard to ignore.
Yeah, I wish I could say I didn't. I wish I could say I didn't know if we were on the bubble or off the bubble or last four in. But it's unavoidable. I mean, the thing's right in front of you. People talk to you about it all the time, and I mean, even my mom sometimes tells me, what our status is. I think I would sleep better if I didn't know, but unfortunately, I do know where we are.
What are your thoughts on the new policy, allowing students to celebrate on the court after, 1 minute has passed after the end of the game?
Yeah, I think our new student policy is needed, and I think we get the best of both worlds. If we are fortunate enough to win a big game or win a game they feel is worthy of that, we want to celebrate with them. But at the same time, the safety concerns, we don't want that for the opposing team or for us. And it's a league rule. So it's a league rule for a reason, and we don't want the fines, but it is a nice compromise to be able to celebrate with them.
Hey, John's practice been the past couple of days, and talk about the challenges Texas posed.
Yeah, I think our practices have been really good. Against Florida, we were happy with our effort. We were happy with a lot of things. We weren't happy with the result. But I think it was something to build upon. We got back here, and guys got right to work again. Texas is extremely talented. The guard Pope is good, and then they probably got the best pro prospect in the league. Tre Johnson is tremendous. He can make shots all over the court. He's fun to watch. I don't think he's fun to coach against, but he's fun to watch and the things he does on the court.
6'6" guard that can kind of do a little bit of everything, despite the fact that he's young. What's the defensive tactic to try and slow him down? Because for the most part, no one's been able to stop him.
Yeah, I believe he's still leading the league in scoring right now. So Tre Johnson has scored against really good defensive teams already, and it's one of those things you kind of got to do the best you can, and if he makes a good shot, move on. And he's had games before where he makes shots that are unstoppable. He can get hot really quick. Big thing with him is just don't make the mistakes. Don't give him a wide open layup. Don't give him a wide open three, because those can compound and make it tough for you.
You were a little more upbeat after the Florida game than the Oklahoma game. What's your sense going into tomorrow? How's the team's mental readiness?
Yeah, the Oklahoma game was frustrating for me, for the players, and because that wasn't us. And I think, unfortunately, it happens to a lot of teams. You look throughout the year and games like that, and Oklahoma played really well, and we didn't, but we contributed to our part of it. And so we wanted to bounce back, and look, we want to play as hard as we can, give maximum effort every single game, and that wasn't the case that game. Florida, I felt like we did. We ran into a team that made some shots, made some plays, but our effort was good. And when we have it that way, we got to stay the course, and the wins will come.
Second half defense obviously has been an issue. Have you found a common theme in some of those struggles through film?
Yeah, we've been the second half has been a struggle, and we've been giving up. First thing was our transition defense hasn't been good, getting back and matched up. And then the bigger issue has been people getting directly to the rim, uncontested layups. And in the first half, we've been able to have enough defensive pressure, have enough defensive support, not allow that. In the second half in these games, it has happened, and it's something my staff's addressed. We've addressed in practice the last 2 days, and it has been an issue. Hopefully, we're fixing it.
Have the court storming fines provided an obstacle for you at all when it comes to NIL, revenue sharing, that sort of thing?
Don't even know. It's I haven't really talked to my boss at Candace Story Lee about it. Kind of is caught up in win the next game. You know, I think it's something that we'll talk about later, but you know, there's smart people around here. They know how to fix these problems.
Things can be contagious, whether that's winning or losing. How much do you need to win right now after two pretty difficult games?
Yeah, I mean, we're right there in the middle of the league, and we're jumbled up with a bunch of teams. And, you know, if you said we're going to lose this and we'll go win the next 5 straight, I'll take that. But at the same time, every single game's a challenge, and you're just putting everything into one game. Streaks are going to happen and they can compound. You can run into a bunch of good teams. You know, I know there's teams that have been ranked in the top 5 in the country who lost 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 in this league. The league's brutal. It's unforgiving, and at the same time, you got to get back up every single game and give yourself the chance, and we'll do that. We'll bounce back against Texas.
You talk about the league being difficult. Has there been much of an adjustment period for you in that? The fact that now you're X amount of games in and you realize, hey, this is different than what I've had in the past.
Well, I think when we get to the league compared to the non-conference, it's obviously more athletic and more physical. So we are constantly trying to figure out different ways to adjust and make things better. And also look at the times where we're successful right now and try to repeat those. But we're not in a situation where we're saying we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again and be stubborn about it. We are trying to make adjustments. We're trying to figure out the best way to be good in the SEC. Really, and I would say this, I would say the other 15 teams are too. Maybe with the exception of Auburn, who's rolling right now. Everybody else is trying to figure out ways to try to find different ways to, you know, just find 1% or 2% better.
You have talked in the past about one game at a time approach, but you've got a murderer's row of games coming up in the next 10 days. Tennessee, Kentucky on the road. Can you kind of address that? And do you look that far ahead for that game's up was announced today as a sellout?
I'm sorry,
It's a Tennessee.
It's at their place. You know, looking ahead is going to be wasted energy. And look, we know there's ranked teams. We know there's good teams. I think every team we're playing from this point forward is maybe a top 40 team in the country. Well, you know, we can't play 10 games right now, or 9 games. We can only play 1. So let's try to do good as we can next game and then figure it out.
In the past, the SEC tournament, what teams do in that hasn't really mattered to the committee. Do you think this could be a year where you guys or other bubble teams might need that and want a couple more wins in the SEC tournament to matter for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the SEC tournament, you know, we're, I guess, close about 6 weeks away, 5-6 weeks away. You know, there's going to be teams that are going to need something in that tournament. Playing for seeding, playing the NCAA tournament, there is going to be stuff on the line for that. I heard Jay Billis stated today that winning the SEC tournament is going to be harder than winning the national championship. And probably would agree with that if I had to look at it right now, because the teams you got to play, the style and everything else, to be able to run through that's going to be incredible. But that's down the road, but there will be a lot on the line for different teams in the SEC tournament this year.
Anything else? All right.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.